Meanwhile, Russia's President Vladimir Putin is hosting Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban in Moscow. The talks are primarily covering energy supplies, with Orban looking to secure more natural gas from the Kremlin. But the two leaders have also discussed rising tensions between Russia and Ukraine. Putin says the US and NATO have ignored Russia's security concerns and might try to bait Moscow into a war.
We are carefully analysing the written response received on January the 26th from the United States and NATO, but it is already clear, and I have informed Prime Minister Orban about it, that fundamental Russian concerns ended up being ignored. The US's most important goal is to contain Russia. That's the thing. In this sense, Ukraine itself is just a tool to achieve this goal. This can be done in different ways. One of them is to draw us into armed conflict.
Well, for more on those rising tensions, let's now bring in our Russia analyst, Galina Polonskaya. Galina, thank you so much for joining us on the programme tonight. So, President Putin says Russia is open to dialogue, but doesn't sound like he's ready to compromise on anything that the US or Russia have offered.
Exactly. He was really clear, and you've just heard that he said that Russian fundamental concerns were ignored. That's what he thinks, and those concerns are NATO expansion eastwards and guarantees that Ukraine will never be a part of NATO. And Russia did not receive a positive response on those demands, of course. And today Vladimir Putin said, I quote, "Imagine what if Ukraine, stuffed with alliance weapons, starts the military operation in Crimea," end of quote. And after Vladimir Putin underlined that the question of Crimea was a closed one for Russia, that Russia considers Crimea to be its own territory, and he said that also that the concerns of Russia, the security concerns, are based around the principles which cannot be based around just one country staging security for itself at the expense of the security of the other countries. And that's what Russia is really insisting on, and that's what Mr. Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, spoke with Antony Blinken about today. And Mr. Putin said that he hoped that those conversations will continue and that he will talk about this with Mr. Emmanuel Macron, the French president, who, according to Mr. Putin, could come to Moscow shortly.
Now, Galina, Boris Johnson has been using words, very strong words, like Russia is holding a gun to Ukraine's head. Now, he's set to have a call with Vladimir Putin, so how's that going to be received?
Well, actually, it's quite predictable. You know how Russian politicians and the state-controlled media are calling all such harsh and tough words about Russia. They say that it's a hysteria about Russian aggression in Ukraine, which is not true, and that Russia has no intention to attack, that all of those harsh words are just words of people who are trying to gain political points. And today, one of the top political anchors at one of the main Russian state channels said actually the main goal of Mr. Johnson's visit to Ukraine was to gain political points and to grab attention away from the Sugrey inquiry, which is happening in the UK. So that's how it's been presented in Russia. And of course, also, I might mention that the Kremlin was not very keen on saying exactly another date of their phone conversation, which was postponed because of this inquiry, but probably it will still happen tomorrow. And it's very interesting what they will have to talk about, because, you know, the UK promised to Russian oligarchs very tough sanctions in case if Russia invades Ukraine. And Vladimir Putin today said that what could happen is that Russia could be provoked and then the sanctions will follow. But we should not also forget that what Russia is saying is that the only country it can listen to is the United States, because all of the others are doing what Washington tells them to do.